Yeah, I'm just warming up. Welcome to the J. Roos Theory. It was tons of fights over the weekend. Is it Ananda or Amanda Nunes lost? I believe she got tapped out. I haven't seen it. We had Lomachenko versus Comey, and Lomachenko, man, this dude is back and then some. This dude is a great fighter. In fact, I might favor him if he ever gets a rematch with. I used to really like Teofimo Lopez. I still like him, but if this Lomachenko shows up to fight Lopez in the rematch, I got to go with Lomachenko. I mean, the dude was beating Comey up so bad, wobbling him. He's looking at Comey's corner like, hey, dude, you guys going to let your boy get mopped like this? Like, stop the fight. But Lomachenko, he's a real fighter. He can box, he can move, do it all. His conditioning is just top notch. He doesn't seem to get winded, and if he does, he doesn't show it. So Lomachenko's looking serious. Jared Anderson was on the undercard. He was fighting a Ukrainian, and he comes out with the pimp hat and the cane and all that, and wins in the second round. So Jared Anderson, this dude can really punch. So now he's at 11 wins, 11 knockouts. Jared Anderson, I did a video before on my NWJ page called Train Like the Ukraine, but apparently this guy from the Ukraine wasn't ready because Jared Anderson just walked through him. I want to see Jared Anderson step it up next and fight someone like Daniel Dubois. Now that fight would be a slug fest. That's definitely not going the distance. Who do you guys think would win between Daniel Dubois and Jared Anderson? Do you think it's too soon for Jared Anderson? Do you think it's too soon for Daniel Dubois after his loss to Joe Joyce? I know Dubois had 2 fights since then and got quick knockouts. But it's going to come down pretty much to who has the bigger heart and who has the best chin, because both of these dudes can punch. They can punch. So Jared Anderson is looking serious, after the fight. He had the pimp hat again, tilted with the coat on. I saw him unboxing it before the fight, trying everything on. So he seems to have a big personality and things like that. So look out for Jared Anderson, upcoming American heavyweight. Vlad Tsarenko has a fight on the 18th of this month. And of course, I'm sure you guys have seen the interview I did over with Andrew Tucker over on his platform, Andrew Tucker World. We interviewed James Ali Bashir. It was a 3-hour interview, but we had technical difficulties that I'm sure we won't have this time because we worked out the kinks. The interview doesn't really start till 43 minutes in, but great stories. We'll be talking to James again this week coming up Wednesday at 2 p.m. East Coast time. It'll be 9 p.m. in the Ukraine where James is at, getting ready for his fight, training with his fighter, Vlad Tsarenko. Vlad Tsarenko is fighting a guy, I forget his name, but the original guy that he was fighting pulled out, and James Bashir said he really didn't want his fighter to take this fight because this guy's a lot of experience. He went the distance with Pulev and things like that, and he said Ukrainians fight with a lot of heart and stuff like that. So he said, he's going to back his guy and he still thinks he's going to win, but I guess he's just saying it's going to be tougher than maybe he would like it to be at this stage of Vlad's career. But we're rooting Vlad Tsarenko on. J. Roos Theory and Andrew Tucker, we're rooting them on. Thanks, James Bashir. He sent me a video of him and Klitschko, just so just playing around. Klitschko was in the camp with Vlad Tsarenko. They didn't spar or anything like that. But Klitschko, I saw James Bashir do an interview on BWTM Sports and Gaming, and he was saying that he wanted Klitschko to get in the ring with Vlad Tsarenko and spar, but Klitschko is like, I don't know if, I don't want somebody trying to prove a point. He may do it later, but he said Vladimir Klitschko got on the scales and weighed 240. So the guy's still training, he's in shape, and I believe he's going to come back, and he could beat most of these guys, that are out right now. Vladimir Klitschko is a very disciplined fighter. So Jared Anderson won his fight in the second round. Lomachenko won. Then I watched these bantamweight guys, and Andrew Tucker and me were live for that, but he had to fill me in on who these guys were. Something like Durain, I forget the other guy's name. It was an action-packed fight while it lasted. I think it went like 3 rounds by a knockout. The underdog won, who was the older fighter. So, people always big up youth and things like that. But I guess the experience came in. I don't know much about bantamweights at all, but it was exciting. I'm more of a heavyweight guy, and I'll watch, the middleweights, welterweights, but I know most about heavyweights. I'm a heavyweight specialist. Like Lennox Lewis says, he's the pugilist specialist. I'm the heavyweight specialist. The heavyweight specialist. Yeah, I like that. But lots of interesting fights going on. And of course, we've got Joseph Parker doing the rematch with Chisora on the 18th of this month, too. I watched a big, long thing on Joseph Parker when they were showing behind the scenes on DAZN of his first fight with Chisora. Man, his family, they have to be the nicest people in boxing, Joe Joyce and his mom, some of the nicest people. Joseph Parker, his family are, they're believers, and they were praying. His dad was praying and fasting and asked his son to kneel with him before the fight. His mom was crying and stuff before he left to go fight Chisora. But they're just a tight-knit family, So you can't help but like Joseph Parker. And I used to wonder why when people like Chisora would get in his face and he kind of just let him get away with it. They said his mom sat him down early on in his career and told him, when people talk trash, she told him, don't play that game. Don't do it, She was trying to teach him to have class. So that's what it is, If you were to see Joseph Parker just on an interview, you never know he's a boxer because the dude is so nice. But when he gets in the ring, he turns it off. So I think this fight will go pretty much like the first fight. I think Chisora will probably land the harder shots, but Parker will outwork him. And I don't think it'll be a knockout either. I think it'll be pretty much like a replay of the first fight. Let me know what you guys think of Chisora Parker. And Tyson Fury was in the camp of Joseph Parker for the first fight. Let him train at his gym. They were running together, hitting the bag together. Tyson Fury's letting him know some things. He's letting him know how if you use your weight and you really can tire a person out. So that's what I was saying about Joshua. One reason I believe he needs to go back to the diesel version of Joshua. He fought better at that weight. He may have gotten tired, but he's getting tired at this weight too. So you might as well be the bigger version if you're going to get tired anyway. So anyway, that fight, there was 3 fights, maybe even more. But anyway, that's what's going on in the world of boxing. Make sure you subscribe, share, keep your hands up. And please be fearless. Yay, yay.